Do record and admit all to the Zoom.
I don't know how to do this after. And I just want to check the Facebook to make sure it's on there.
Hey,
Hi.
lovely lady. How are you?
Good, and you?
Awesome.
I'm good, and you? Doing good, can't complain.
You look great.
So do you. So do actually both of you do.
Thank you.
You're
I'm just
welcome.
sharing away here, trying to get it all shared out.
Hey, Tari.
Hi, Winter.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
How are you? Oh, I'm live on 2 places. Okay, so I'll cancel my
Oh, you
phone.
just want to make sure we look like we have a lot of audience members, right, dear?
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
I don't know. I was trying to share it to groups, but
Winter.
it is not working.
It's not working?
Well, no, it's working. I'm just trying to find, trying to find the groups. It's hard to do it on the phone, but welcome everybody. I know there's a couple of people that said they wanted to try to sign in. Hopefully they are making it. So welcome, welcome. Got my sparkly New Year's top on. I know it's past New Year's, but
You look gorgeous, darling. And it's just past
thank you.
Chinese New Year.
That's right,
So
exactly.
We're right on time. And you know what was interesting, Mari? I did not realize this. I was aware that it was going to be the year of the rabbit, the water rabbit.
Yes.
And if, of course, anything astrological interests me. But then I saw in Vietnam, they celebrate Tet, T-E-T, and it is going to be the year of the cat.
Oh.
Being that we are cat lovers, it's like, cool.
Very cool. Very cool. And I don't know much about Chinese astrology, but I've been told that the year of the rabbit is very auspicious and good things happening and new energy moving. So I don't know if that's the same with the year of the cat. I would think it's probably similar, but
Yes.
sounds like good vibes coming to all. So.
Yes, the year it's supposed to be more peaceful this year, which would be nice in light of the animosity throughout the world and locally the last year or so. And coming off that Mars retrograde where anger was heightened. So I'm looking forward to a more peaceful year.
Absolutely, me too. I just want nothing, like I was thinking, I just want it to be peaceful and just vibe and chill. That's what I want to do. So that's what we're sending out. Yeah, exactly. Just not have to always have like a situation, so
Drama.
absolutely. Drama, exactly. Too much drama.
Yes,
I feel you.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So today's show, Mari had this brilliant idea, and I agreed with her, that we're just going to talk about ways that we can have spirit or other spiritual methodologies assist us with our desires to manifest here on the earth plane, whether it be by resolutions, although I'll see my cat likes the O-ring. Whether a lot of people don't like the term resolutions. New Year's, but I just feel like it's a good time of year to do it because there's so many people who are. Well, I guess we're going to take the O-ring down because that's just exciting my cat beyond anything. And if a lot of people are focused on a positive outcome, like being successful in their resolutions, to me, that energy's out there and becomes a way to tap into it and also to share with it that, and hopefully helping you propel and stick with your resolutions. Kind of like, when I first tried meditation back in the day, I'm just going to mute you guys background. I had a hard time meditating, but what I found is if I went to a group meditation, everybody else who was meditating assisted me to get to the kind of the vibe, the altered state. It helped. So I kind of put two and two together. I said, I bet that kind of is the same thing that happens around New Year's. If you have a tremendous number of people focused on creating good behaviors, tap into it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but if I'm right, there's one tip to help you stay on course. So how about you, Mari?
Well, I was sort of thinking about it, and I actually just wrote, I don't have the link, it's somewhere, I should put it in the chat. If I had it ready, it's somewhere here in the midst here. I just wrote an article for Elephant Journal about, it's entitled, your New Year's resolutions failed, now what? And it talks a lot about New Year's resolutions. And I also agree, because it feels like if you're making a resolution, it's almost like you did something bad in the first place. And like, that's not the case. Like, we're all on our path, on our journey. And like, if you didn't lose weight or whatever it is you're trying to do, it doesn't mean you're bad. So I don't use resolutions either. But in my article, I sort of went through a couple of things. And I know, Winter was also talking about like space clearing a little bit, but there's like a lot of things you can do other than just the usual, eat better, get more sleep, blah, blah, blah. Those are all good things. But in terms of like your spiritual side, there's a lot of different things you can do to sort of develop that. And one of the things I was thinking of, which is not in the article, but I was thinking of it today, and I'm assuming Winter will back me up on this. And I don't know if we've talked about this before, but animals, or specifically cats, and how they can help sort of in a healing process, whether it's physical healing, emotional, psychological healing. Because I have cats, and I know obviously Winter does too, but I think this applies to dogs, horses, anything, any animal that you would have, even birds. Because I know when I'm not feeling well, and one of my cats will come close, say like I hurt my ankle at the gym or something, my cat will come and sit on my ankle. And it's almost as if like the cats themselves are like healing crystals, or they're like little healing entities. Because when they come to you, whatever kind of animal you have, they do have their own healing properties, and they have a way of sort of sensing what's going on with you. And so I just sort of wanted to put that out to you, that if you're not feeling well and your animal comes over and they're in a certain area, or they're trying to connect with you in a certain way, just know that they are trying to help you or heal you on a variety of levels. And, I think of my cats as healing crystals, but obviously they're not crystals, but they have, the same energy. And I was on a show yesterday, we were talking about crystals and how they can heal you. And, I thought that, using cats sort of as that metaphor was something really interesting. And what do you think about that, Winter?
Absolutely. They've actually shown that a cat's purring is the same,
frequency?
It's not a frequency,
No?
but I guess you might call it vibration. It's the same vibration as the healing vibration to mend broken bones. They purr at the same vibration. That's been done as a study where they measured. And of course, I think most animals, I wouldn't test it with a tiger in the tiger's pen, but most of your pets, cats, dogs, ferrets, hamsters, they put out loving energy. There's a love, once you have a love with them and they love you, and that loving energy does tend to look at that. I say loving energy, and who do we get? Romantic.
I figured
Ruby.
someone was coming. I have to lock mine out, otherwise they would just be causing havoc. So,
Yeah, that's what
oh,
mine do.
look at him.
But everybody loves them. I think they enjoy the cats more than me chatting, so I just let them in. So in that respect, their loving energy can help uplift you emotionally and mentally. And when you do that, and bring you a sense of calmness, which then allows your body to do some of its own self-healing and restoration. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and I think that we look at them obviously as pets and they're healing, but I do believe that, like you were saying, their vibration can cause physical, emotional, psychological healing just by being with them. And to sort of piggyback on that, so you have your animals as a way of sort of connect to your higher self or get healing, and then there's also crystals. And we were talking about this again yesterday, that I don't know if anybody has crystals here or crystal people. And someone was asking me if I use them. And I was thinking, well, I don't really use them, but they're all over my house. They're in all different areas. I'm always recharging them. Like, you can put them in the sun or in the moon, or you can wash them. So I guess I use them without really using them. And I'm assuming that's probably the same for a lot of people in our audience. But a trick that I like to use, like if you're having trouble, you feel like with maybe loving relationships, like related to your heart chakra, or you feel like, there you go. I mean, they're just like everywhere. I have like 10 of them.
Fluorite.
Yes, exactly.
Fluorite
I
helps
know.
the
That's what I have too.
EMFs.
EMFs,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Yep. And if you're having trouble with a certain either area of your body, or like your throat chakra, you have difficulty speaking up for yourself, or your heart chakra, love issues, emotional issues. It could be, your gut, your sacral chakra, sort of being creative and getting things out there. What I like to do is to take, a favorite crystal of yours, something that resonates with you, and you can lie down, and like I'm just holding this, just happens to be like a salt lamp crystal, but I feel connected to this. So you can lie down, and then you can put it on one of those chakras. And then you can either lie down, like relax. And, you don't have to, when I say meditate, people's eyes roll back in their heads and they're like, oh God, I can't do that. So you don't have to meditate, but just to sit and sort of set the intention of, say example, your heart chakra, you're having issues with like your love life or loved ones, you can put it on your heart chakra and say, I'm now releasing this energy, negative energy, to the crystal. I'm opening up my heart chakra to allow love and positive energy to connect with me, and then just allow it to release. And then once you sort of allow the crystal to sort of take that negative energy away from you, you can recharge it, wash it, put it in the sun. So it allows sort of your chakras or whatever area you might be having a problem with to sort of open up, and you're setting that intention to release. So that's sort of another, tip that I give people to sort of use, I would say, everyday objects, because I'm sure everybody has some type of crystal in your house, whether you realize it or not. To aquamarine, you have a piece of citrine jewelry, there's probably all sorts of like calcites or whatever that might be out in your yard. You can use any of those things. It doesn't have to be like fancy from the crystal shop. But I would definitely recommend that as a way to A, reconnect to yourself, and B, sort of maybe heal anything that's going on in your emotional, physical body.
True. However, if you don't have crystals, that's a great reason to visit your local metaphysical crystal shop.
I don't want to make people spend money, but yeah, of course.
Yeah. So here's the thing with that. Once you start, it's like you have one crystal, you need 100.
Yes. Exactly.
So I happen to like big crystals, as you noticed. And but honestly, you can get little ones for like $5, and they will do the job that you need. And obviously, I wouldn't use a piece of fluorite or whatever other crystal that was this big to lay on my throat.
Yeah, not a good idea.
So big isn't always better when you're doing healing with crystals. However, I just like big crystals. Now, I do want to mention that Kathy, who's with us today, has observed, like with cats, that her ferals, she doesn't hear them purr. She feeds a feral colony and then also has house cats. So I have heard feral cats purr, but usually cats are purring when they're feeling quite safe. So it could
Right.
be that, once they're hoisted down where they sleep, maybe they're purring with one another, but even though they feel safe with you, Kathy, they're out in the open when they come for food. So that could be why. I do know that 2 of my cats are rescues, and one is a scaredy cat, which I'm still working with her, but she likes to nurse, and she likes to purr a little bit when she falls asleep. Now, the other guy, he talks up a storm. He's always talking. So, oh, that makes sense. And then Kathy's just mentioning that they teach their young to keep silent from predators, which is smart. So, so that was just an interesting comment. With the crystals, I do think that different crystals have different attributes. And if you're looking for a good reference guide, the Crystal Bible, and it's 3 volumes, that's probably the best one to start with. And, there's maybe a dozen basic crystals that would complete, like, for you to have to start with. And again, you can get crystals online, but you need to be careful because,
Yes.
for example, if you're trying to buy amethyst, some unscrupulous sellers might have burnt quartz. It's not really amethyst. They fire it up to make it look like it. And what else? So, it's nice to go to crystal shops locally. And the thing is, they have overhead. So sometimes they have to charge a little bit more for their merchandise because they have their rent and their insurance and sales tax and all that to pay, which your internet provider may not have to, the store frontage, etc. If you're on Long Island, I always recommend Amityville Apothecary. They're like 2 floors, 1 floor of crystals, 1 whole room of tarot cards. So that would be on Long Island. And there's a few other places that are wonderful too. Who's your go-to, Mari, by you?
Well, Circles of Wisdom. I don't know if anyone's in Massachusetts, but Circles of Wisdom definitely has a nice selection of crystals. For a very long time, I would go up to Troy, New York, because my son was studying up there. And there's an amazing crystal shop whose name I can't remember, but if you really want to find out, I can find out what it is and you can message me. But she has amazing stuff. But lots of people have crystals, in different places. But I just didn't want anyone to feel like they had to go out and get anything. I mean, honestly, if you have a sacred object, you can put that on your chakras as well and sort of help clear yourself, something that's sacred to you. It doesn't have to be fancy or anything like that. It was just more of an idea of really tuning into yourself, connecting with your own soul self, and sort of helping to develop and clear whatever is going on. Another idea that I was thinking of, sort of related to the new year, new you piece. And now this might sound a little weird to some people, but just hang in there with me. There's a concept called mirror work by Louise Hay. If anybody knows Louise Hay, then she started it. It was not my idea. Yes, I see that that RFK Properties. I see it's Mary. Sorry, I didn't see your name. Yeah, so she started that, and and it's definitely been really helpful to a lot of my clients, and I've done it myself. And sort of the process is you get up, or whenever you feel comfortable, is you go over to your mirror and you look at yourself very deeply in the eyes, and you can say, pretty much anything, but it's usually like, I love you, I value you, you matter. And I know this sounds hokey and weird, and some people are go, I'm not going to go do that. And you don't have to, but the piece with that is sort of connecting the physical connecting like your image to the spiritual, to your soul, psychological, emotional. And try it. You know, if you haven't done it, and if it sounds kind of weird, you know, I would encourage you to try it, and because it's hard. I mean, it sounds like, oh, whatever, get up, I love you. But to really be in the moment and to connect with yourself and your spirit in that way, a lot of people find, you know, that it's scary, right? And I have, if someone is saying that, oh, that's a scary idea. It's not about your physical image. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, again, that what we are, that's just sort of like the outfit that we're wearing this time around, right? So it's not about the physical. It's about your eyes and connecting with your soul self, and really loving that part of yourself and trying to be more connected with yourself. And by doing this, you know, people have found like they're able to get messages easier. They feel more connected to sort of who they are as a spirit. And again, it doesn't matter like what specifically you're saying. It's just saying loving. I mean, I wouldn't say like you're horrible. You would want to say loving thoughts to yourself. And just try that. And people that do that, you know, every day or, you know, a couple times a week have really found they feel like lifted in and of themselves and just sort of feel better and more connected. So that's just sort of another tip on how to get more connected to yourself and sort of be like the new you that doesn't involve like the usual sleep and, you know, eating better type of tips. But give it a try and let me know what you think about that, because that is really powerful. And I don't know if Winter, if you've ever done that, but I definitely have. And it feels weird in the beginning. So don't like freak out if you're like, oh my God, I can't do it. It sounds simple, but it has a power. So I would encourage, you know, everybody to try it and, you know, let me know what you think.
Very good. I tried a little mirror work, but actually, I was trying to see spirit. I was trying to work on my clairvoyance, and as far as seeing the manifest in front of me.
Sure.
So, not so much for the same purpose as the mirror work. I did something similar. I would have a positive affirmation on my mirror, like on a sticky. So when I, you know, first thing I did when I woke up in the morning, when I'm brushing my teeth, and that can assist you. It's kind of like somebody putting something on the fridge, a picture on the fridge to motivate them to stay on the diet, or, you know, remind them to do more walking. Because sometimes we just have to be reminded over and over again, although we don't want our spouse or our children reminding us. So if we just have a little sticky reminding us, yeah, remember 1,000 steps today, or whatever it is, whatever improved behaviors you want to incorporate into your daily living.
Yeah, absolutely.
Overall
And,
health.
you know,
Because
I don't know if, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that, especially the work that we do, if, you know, you guys want to connect spiritually, well, it's also important that you move your own energy around, you know, and you don't have to get up and do, what is that dance they do? They jump around, but you could walk around more, just move around, and that moves your energy around, keeps your aura clearer, breathe in better, and, you know, take it outside, weather permitting, of course. Some of us in the Northeast, poor Mari, we see the snow covered.
I know. But those are helpful tips, though. I mean, and I think because the breath and the outside were also on my list, because, you know, I wouldn't remember. Both of those things are important. I mean, obviously, if it's 20 below, you probably don't want to go outside. But even in the winter, like, I will try to go out every day, not for too long if it's too cold, but just to breathe and just to be in the energy of nature, just stepping outside of your house. Like, if it's yucky where you are, you don't have to take a walk, or if you have mobility issues, but just being outside and watching the birds, or, you know, breathing in, looking at the trees, just sort of having that meditative moment. And again, we're talking about getting back to your soul self and your spirit. And having that connection is going to make you sort of more aware of that, because when you're in the busy, I got to go here and pick up the kids and make dinner and go to the store, it's like all that, like you're not connecting, right? You're sort of on the outside. And so taking those moments, whether it's mirror work, breath, going outside, sitting with your animals, crystals, any of these types of things is going to help you go back inside and sort of work on that spiritual part of yourself, which everybody knows if you do that, then in general, you're a lot happier because you're focused on your growth, your spiritual growth. And, outside as much as you can, even if it's for, a minute, 2 minutes, just to breathe and be in the moment. You know what I mean?
I know I'm better in the warmer weather, getting outside and then just connecting with the energy of the tree, the energy of a bird flying by. If you can go in the woods, that's wonderful. If it's quiet and away from street noise, lawn mowers, or what do they call those? That's my head.
The leaf blowers, maybe. Yeah.
That's kind of hard to meditate when you're sitting there and your neighbor's doing the leaf blower, right?
True. That is true. But
So if you
whatever.
can escape to a nice walk in the woods and just hear the quiet, like the only thing you hear is a cricket or something like a little bird stepping on a leaf. I don't know. Very normal things you wouldn't hear, except that it's so nice and quiet. That's
absolutely.
Yeah, and that'll help you connect and get back into that oneness of energy. So, but why don't we take a break and do some readings and then pop into chatting about some upcoming events and then more readings? Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good. I just didn't know if anybody had any questions about anything that we were talking about. If, I'm happy to take questions. I know people had put a couple things in the chat about questions for readings or whatever, but if you had any questions or comments about what we're talking about, definitely happy to field any of those.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Eileen and Dee. I'm just saying hello to a few people.
Oh,
we got somebody in Africa. Hello, Bernice. Welcome.
Very cool.
That's one of my daughter's favorite places is Africa.
That's very cool. Have you been? I have not been.
My daughter did a medical mission in Ghana. She was there for a couple of weeks. And then she worked in a hospital in Rwanda on the other side of Africa.
Wow.
So,
and did you
one
go?
Summer. I did not go, no.
Oh, wow.
But it was actually kind of funny because she was in Rwanda. No, I'm sorry, Uganda. She had to fly into Rwanda, travel over the border to Uganda. So she was working there for the summer. Dakota, my youngest, went on the high school trip to Italy where they were singing in the cathedrals. I said, oh, heck, if my kids are going to travel, I'm traveling. So I hopped a plane to Norway and ended up going to the farm my grandmother grew up on. She immigrated to our country around 1911. And I met my father's second cousin who I went to, he's still living on the farm. So that was really cool because I figured, well, I got kids spread all over the place. Okay, so Bernice is telling me Botswana is next door to South Africa. Cool. There's a lot of physical mediumship in South Africa, and I actually have a friend or two that's down that way. The daughter had come up for heart surgery with Gift of Life. They were from Zimbabwe and they moved to South Africa. So,
wow, very cool.
Anyway, cool. Kathy just shares that her roommate was from Ghana. It's such a small world these days with the ability of people to migrate and travel. And then let alone connect with something like this Zoom. We have this lovely Bernice joining us from Africa now. So anyway, but let's do a reading and let's see, is anybody interested in
Oh, I'm
receiving
sure.
a reading?
I know Terry had a
Okay.
question for me, but feel free to start and then we can keep going.
Okay, Mary's, you raised your hand first, so I will come to you, sweetheart. So, I have a grandmother stepping in. Would you understand a grandmother in spirit?
Yes.
And would you understand that she was shorter? I would say about 5'2", if that. And she did put on a few extra pounds towards the end. She was a very jovial personality. She loved to smile, laugh, very child oriented. She loved to be with the children. In fact, for holiday dinners, given her druthers, she'd rather sit at the kids' table because you did, in fact, have kids' tables. Do you recall that when you were little?
I'm not sure because she was in Puerto Rico. I think you're talking about my grandma Maria, and I think I used to
Yeah,
visit.
she had dark hair.
Yes.
All right, and a little bit heavy set. I just feel that
Mhm.
there would have been a table for the children and then the grown, and then an adult table. They'd have large gatherings wherever she was. And she would prefer to be with the children. She was also very intuitive, like you are. And I do believe she did something like tea reading or coffee reading, coffee grinds. She got premonitions, and sometimes she characterized them as all the palpitations. But she wasn't talking about her heart. She was talking about when she knew something was going to happen. Do you recall that, or did mom share that about her?
No, but I did definitely get chills, everything you told me, especially the premonitions, because I started getting premonitions as well.
Okay. So do me a favor, if you have the opportunity, you can always go and check the information, especially since it's resonating, even though you weren't told it directly. Now, I do feel that she shares an enthusiasm that you are pursuing metaphysical arts. And I feel like she looks over your shoulder. And at the same time, I feel that she had superstitions when she was here. So she's kind of like on the border, if that makes any sense. She's excited you're doing it, but she still is holding on to some of those superstitions. So she needs to be in the room with you when you're working, and she's watching over you. She's got a daughter with her on the other side. Would you understand? That would be an aunt.
Or
Of
my
yours.
mom passed away.
Oh, your mom. Okay, my apologies. I
No,
did
it's
have
also an aunt too. It could be an aunt, but I feel like it's my mom probably trying to come through.
Okay. So, because I know she has a daughter on the other side. So I'm sorry, I didn't realize your mom had passed. And well, then there's three of them. Three is a very important number for you. That is
Yes.
when you see threes, you think of them.
Okay.
And there's also the Trinity connection, but three is a very important number for you. So I want to
And
leave
I've been
that.
seeing it a lot. Yep.
Okay, great. So no, it's them, but it also has a numerical significance for you.
Yes.
All right. So I want to leave that with you with the blessings of spirit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very nice. Very nice. I was communicating with Terry. She had a question about her cats, or her cat and her son's cat. And I know, Terry, if you can unmute if you want. You said that you sent me a picture, but I don't know where that would be. So
On your phone.
On my phone, huh? I don't see it. Was it in Messenger?
Yes.
I
sent it to you with your phone number.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's not.
You might have deleted it.
Yeah, it didn't come through. I'm not sure. Maybe send it again. I can put or you can just hold it up to the screen anyway. If you have like a picture on your phone, you can do that.
Yes.
And what was your question?
My one son is leaving to go to Italy for 8 days.
Oh,
He's,
nice.
yeah, he has a cat that's about 5, 6 years old.
Okay.
I have Peanut, who is about a year and a half. Is
Okay.
there a way that we can bring them together so that his cat doesn't have to stay home alone?
Sure. Let me see a picture of Peanut if you have.
I gotta find photos.
Because, yeah, I feel like that I've done readings for Peanut before, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
Yeah. I mean, just sort of, I would say, like, just starting with the basics when you're introducing cats. Like, I don't know if it's possible for you to introduce them earlier. You want to probably start by keeping them separate in the beginning and sort of letting them, like, put one, maybe in the bathroom and the other one so they can kind of smell each other under the door so that they
Okay.
can, sort of connect, like, not directly in the first few days. I mean, it sounds not nice. Obviously, you don't want to put your cat in the bathroom or, another
Yeah.
separate room. But that way, if you put them together, they're going to attack each other.
Yeah.
But and you said that your son's cat is what, just a couple of years old?
It's about 6 years old. Yeah.
Okay. So because I'm feeling like just sort of with like that energy, it feels like that his cat might be a little bit more dominant over yours. So it feels like they definitely would need a little bit of time to connect. So keeping them separated in the beginning would be good. But I am sort of getting, and what is the name of your son's cat again?
Mew. MEW.
Mew. Oh, I love that. That's so funny because I have 3 cats and my latest cat, the baby, for I don't know why, for whatever reason, this is just an aside, at the vet, I told him that his name was Mew, even though that's not his name. So no coincidences. That's so funny. But is that
That is Peanut.
yeah, just raise it up a little more so I can see. Keep going. Yeah, because I can't see. Yeah, and move it over to the side. I'm only seeing part of your phone. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. If you raise it a little bit higher, I just sort of saw the top of the phone there.
There he
Oh,
is.
there's Peanut. Okay. Very cute. So yeah, so I mean, just from what I'm getting from Mew and from Peanut, I feel like Mew might be a little more dominant. And you like, again, you might want to keep them a little bit more separated. I feel like Peanut is like a lot more skittish and scared and sort of like harder to warm up to people. So I feel like with having another cat, I mean, and I understand obviously you want to help out your son and he's going away, and I honestly do feel like Mew would probably be okay, by himself, but it's not ideal to have a cat to be alone for that length of time.
That's
Even
what
if somebody's
yeah.
coming in, to feed them, it's still not going to be great. So maybe just introduce them slowly, but just sort of be on the lookout, because I do feel like Mew is going to be more dominant coming in and be like not so happy. He's not going to be, in his environment. I'm not sure how much interaction that he's had with other cats. Because I feel like he's sort of like the king of the castle where he is at his house. And now moving into another environment, he's going to be like, oh, I don't know. And so I feel like that might get his back up a little bit. So just sort of be on the lookout for that, introduce them slowly. And since it's not for that long, if it turns out they are not really getting along, and because I feel like Peanut could have some regressive behaviors as well, once you connect them, because he's like, oh, who are you putting in my environment? And why is this bossy cat here? Just sort of be on the lookout for that. And if that's the case, you could just keep them in separate rooms for the 8 days, but give it maybe 2 or 3 days, see how they're going. Like if they're not growling or screaming at each other from under the door, and then introduce them, for a brief amount of time and see how that goes. Yeah, so that's sort of my feedback on that. And, hopefully that is helpful, but just sort of be aware that Peanut is not going to be happy, obviously, just having another person meeting Mew there. And also that he might have some behaviors that are potentially negative having this other cat there, because I feel like he's easy to be dominated. And so he might not like that. So just sort of maybe give him a little bit of extra attention, like, I know this is hard for you, I'm trying to help my son, or I don't know if you say your uncle or whatever. And I know it's hard having another furry friend here, but just be patient and just tell him. I mean, animals do understand. not on the same level that we do, but they do have an understanding. So, try that out, and hopefully that will be helpful.
Thank you.
One
you're welcome.
more. Can I just add one thing?
Yeah, sure.
Because I've just started using it for some situations I'm having with my cats. Pheromones.
Yeah.
All right. So Terry, they sell it's about $30. It's like a plug-in, like a Glade plug-in.
Yeah.
All right, but it's pheromones, and I would plug it in. Like you can order it and get it next day on Amazon, and then just you won't smell it, but it gives the cats a sense of feeling very safe and more loving. And we're having trouble with my Bengal. So the vet, after we made sure there's no problem with UTI, we tried pheromones, and it was like 180 degrees with her. So all the cats are actually more loving towards each other. So I would suggest getting that and getting it in the environment now. It may very well help them get along.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I see we have a
Thank
couple
you.
of hands up. I don't know.
No problem. I'm just
Rick
answering
and-
on Facebook here.
Rick
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Go ahead.
Karen, you were first. So
Thank you.
Hi, Winter.
hi, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. So what, you want a reading?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you had a question. Okay, of course you're on reading. Why wouldn't we? All right. So yeah, and I know you, and I think I've read for you, and I gotta be honest, I have a really bad memory. My 91-year-old friend keeps reminding me of that. See, her memory's better than mine. And secondly, I forgot who I brought through for you, but I do feel like I have two mothers coming through. Would you both have a mom in spirit?
Just Karen.
Okay, so I have two ladies coming through, and they feel motherly towards me, or towards you, not towards me. And one I feel like mother-in-law, and then I thought the other one was mom, if I'm focused on Rick. But what it might be is Karen's mom and Rick's grandmother, your mom's mom. Rick, would you have had a nice relationship with your maternal grandmother?
Yes.
Okay, and would she have at times felt a little bit more motherly versus grandmotherly? She maybe watched you and
I was very close with her when we were.
okay, so I think that's who I have, because I feel like I want to go on a ping pong. They both wanted to come in for you both. So I'm going to start with Karen's mother. Now, she was a gas. She was just a lot of fun. She'd come out with jokes. She'd come out with, you would say something and she'd come out with a zinger. Does that remind you of your mom?
Yeah.
Okay. And she was one to give people a push. Don't be shy. Step out of your shadow. Oh, you can do it. She was a really wonderful cheerleader for the people in her life. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And she absolutely adores your husband. And she's letting you know that she's been walking behind you, because for the last 2 to 4 months, you've had some challenges in the family that you've had to try to handle. Would you understand what she's referring to?
Yes.
Okay, so no mom's been walking behind you. And Rick, I have this grandmother coming in that I originally thought was your mom, and she's telling me, oh, don't worry about it, sweetheart. I'm just so happy to be here. I feel like she had a gentle way about her, unlike Karen's mom, who was like, go, 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 let's go, your grandmother, on the other hand, I feel had this more demure way, and nothing, oh, don't worry about it. It'll work out. Do you remember your grandmother having that type of personality?
Yeah, she was more laid back, definitely.
Okay. And she comes in and she just gives you a big hug. Now she says, you're the one that has all the agita with your mother. Would you understand what she's talking about? Her daughter?
A little bit, yeah.
All right, so I bet your mother can be a bit of a handful. And if you don't agree with your grandmother, ask your wife. All right, but no, truly, your mother adores her daughter, of course. And she wants to extend her gratitude to both of you because you've been helping your mother out.
Okay.
All
Yep.
right. She's been one of the challenges, her situation, not her situation. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. But your grandmother has been watching over everything that's been going on and trying to pull as many strings as she can to bring help in.
Okay.
By June, everything is going to be cleared out. Also with the business, there's been something with the business that's all going to clear out by June. And you're going to look like you're looking behind you like, oh my God, I'm so glad it's all back behind us now. Let's enjoy the summer.
Nice.
All
That
right.
sounds-
So I want to leave that with you with the love of from your grandmother, grandmother-in-law, and mother-in-law and mother. God bless you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Winter.
You're welcome.
Very nice. Very nice. You got the whole crew there. Now I see a bunch of hands. I don't know who was up next.
I think Kathy was.
Okay.
Hi.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Hi. I was just gonna pin you. Alrighty. So is there like, did you have a particular question or was there
No reading, I think.
just somebody to see? No, because when I was connecting before, I was feeling like, is there like a brother in spirit? I kept getting a male figure, like a brother. Does that make sense to you? Or
Yes.
would be like uncle? Okay. And would this person be like older than you? Because I'm feeling like either he was older than you in age or just like he had a really rough life because he looks really almost worn down a little bit. Do you understand that?
Yes, I have a brother that was 10 years older, but I also, my uncles are all in spirit and they're much, much older.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm feeling like he's older, but it's just his appearance is, it looks like he had a difficult life. And he's coming into me, it's funny, like, would he pick on you? Because he's kind of like poking me and he's kind of like saying, like, giving me a hard time a little bit. Do you understand that?
Oh, yeah.
Like he had kind of like a fun sense of humor, like not really mean. I'm not getting like a mean spirit from him, but just like playing tricks or like, I don't know if he give you like a noogie or whatever, but I am feeling that sort of playful energy with him. But it's interesting with him because they're showing me like the yin yang sign, which means he had sort of two sides. So he had sort of that playful fun side that, you know, he would show people, but then there was like, I don't want to say a darker side, but there's a side of him that he didn't really like to show people, that he sort of kept hidden to himself. That would have been more on, I don't know if there's a depression situation or some type of mental illness, but there was something that feels like a more darker to me that he sort of tried to keep hidden. Do you understand that piece?
Yes.
Okay. And there's some piece about substances with him. I'm also hearing, there's something, I'm not sure if that's something that he battled with for a while, but he's telling me like, that he doesn't want you to worry about him. And it's interesting because he's talking to me about, there was a birthday that just came up. I don't know if it was yours or his or someone in the family, but he is making me aware of a birthday cake and some birthday celebration that you would have been thinking about him recently. Do you understand that piece?
Yes.
And so, but he's coming into me and he's saying like, there's that dark piece of him that we talked about. He's like, I don't want you to worry about that anymore. He's like, I'm fine. He's showing me himself because he came in with that sort of older, more withered kind of look, but he's showing me himself now like, I'm fine, I'm well, you don't have to worry about me. Like he's full of vigor, like he would have been when he was younger. Like he's bringing me back to like when he was 22 and strong and well. And, you know, he is telling me how he lived kind of a wild life. There's that piece also with him, but he's very much coming around to like give you support. There's a piece about, I don't know if there was like a relationship in your life that there was like a recent breakup or some piece about a rift in the family, but he's coming in and talking about that he's providing support to you for that type of life situation that's going on. Do you understand?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've like been thinking about him, but he's very much around you. And there's also some piece about motorcycles that he's talking to me about. I don't know if he rode them or he collected them. There's some piece about sort of being involved with motorcycles. And he's also talking about whether there are people in your life currently now that also have that motorcycle piece. And there's that connection as well. He's showing me like the Harley Davidson like logo. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was, it feels like a really big, important part, of his life. He's sort of making me aware. I don't know if he worked in a shop or, would be around like that motorcycle life. And he's showing me, it almost looks like a shop or a bar or someplace that would have that motorcycle logo. But that was really like important to him. And that community also was important to him. And it almost feels like that you had some connection with them as well. Either you knew like his.
Just like, okay, listen, don't bust my balls in the meeting, and nobody's gonna know it, but no one's doing that.
In there, Winter.
I'm
Because
trying
there
to
is
find.
there was a little bit of noise, but yeah, you're muting me. So anyway, I'm trying to like handle the technology and the spirit at the same time. Spirit is easier than the technology for me. But in any event, Kathy, I just wanted to sort of let you know that that your brother is here, that he's around you, that he's providing the support for you right now. It also feels like he's talking to me about there's some decision that you need to make. I don't know if you were thinking of like moving or changing locations. There's some piece about that. Moving, okay. And he's talking about, and he's talking to me about like providing you support. It's interesting. He's saying because it does feel like to me that you will be moving. And he said, like, he's saying, yeah, it's a good decision. There's some piece about when you're packing up your boxes, you're going to find either some of his stuff or some pictures of him that are going to remind you of him. And that he's saying is going to be put there purposely to remind you that he's still very much around you and he is watching over you. I see him over your left shoulder. And he is sort of looking out for you almost as like one of your guardian angels. So I hope that is helpful, and I'll leave you with the blessings of your brother. And
he used to come and play with my son when my son was maybe 2 years old.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, he has a beautiful spirit, and I know he definitely had his challenges on this side, but he is full of life and full of love, and he's bringing that, through me to give to you. And that, and I'm glad that's helpful to you. So
thank you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I'm so sorry, partner.
It's okay. I was like, am I talking too much? I'm like trying to do the pin and I'm like, oh, I guess. I know, it's okay. I hope it's all working, but yeah, I just saw that. I'm like, oh, I guess I better shut up. She doesn't want me to talk now.
No, it's just I didn't realize that you would have shifted down the column. So my apologies. I'm a real klutz with electronics.
No worries. No worries.
I wanted to quickly mention the Lilydale, and while I'm doing that, you were going to get a card deck ready, right? To pull a card for
Yes, I know. And I'm sorry if I'm ever going too long, feel free to cut me off, because you know how it is. You're better at compartmentalizing it, but once I'm connecting, I'm just like whoosh, so feel free. If I'm going too long, it's totally fine. So.
No, I just heard the background noise and I thought it was from somebody else. I didn't realize your name had come down in the list. I thought you were in the top.
Okay.
So it was just me being a klutz.
No,
no worries. There we go again with the big crystals. Okay. I have
Lilydale.
For the first time in a scores of years, Lilydale is going to be the host of Physical Mediumship in Victorian Times, June 18th through June 22nd. And Dr. Susan Barnes, who Mari and I will have as a guest in the next couple of months, is the organizer. If you have any enthusiasm for physical mediumship, that's the dark seances with the ectoplasm and the flying trumpets, that's planchette boards, table tipping, billets, spoon bending, they're going to have it. I think that's technically more kinesis, our own abilities as spirit incarnate. This is going to be a fantastic week at Lilydale. Sunday night, there'll be a gathering, and then there'll also be private seances at Neil Raspowski's, which you can purchase separately, dark seances. So physical phenomena should occur. I have to say should because, it can, one person can mess it up. I was there last year, and Gary Mannion, whom is a colleague of mine, and he is now developing his spirit team, precipitated art, which for the last 100 years has only been developed in American mediums for some reason by spirit. And Gary's from the UK, and all of a sudden this ability has started. That is my dad, and that was created with Gary strapped in a chair in a cabinet, and this was a white piece of paper. And not only was my father's picture materialized, they take the pigmentation from the crayons or pencils in a closed box, they absorb it and then put it on this computer paper, just the Staples 9x11, but also the names of his 6 children from his first marriage. So I didn't talk about them, and what he wanted on his grave, his tombstone, which I did. So there'll be lots of, chairs removed. While I was at a seance in Schenectady with Gary, we had chairs moving. It was phenomenal. I went to another one of the professional mediums doing seances, and they're also teaching, is Michael Shane. And he does a lot with the apports that come out of his mouth. And I was there and I witnessed them in the light, in the auditorium, and then also at when he does that, it is in the light, but then we turn the lights down for other types of phenomena. And then the third presenting medium is Bill Bolt, whom I have not had the opportunity to witness, but I'm looking forward to that. There are 5 of us tutors, myself included, along with Sue Barnes, 2 ladies from Australia, Inga Croson, who owns her own studio down in Australia, Karen Richards, and Julie Andrade. So classes will be 9 to 9. There'll be a gathering in the morning, and then you'll have an option to sit with one of the main presenters or go off and choose one of the 3 subclasses. So class sizes will range. There'll be a presentation on fairies as well, incorporating the fairy trail. I myself have gotten pictures of elementals. And for those of you who have seen my I'll be teaching Transfiguration. And if you've seen my Transfiguration, you'll know that my ear elongates. And I don't know if I'll be demonstrating, but it's kind of funny when I do. It waves. My ears hang low and they wiggle. Isn't that a song? So it's just going to be fabulous. And honestly, there are not very many places in this world that you can go to experience and try physical mediumship. All right. I mean, there's Neil Raspowski gets the mediums in right outside of Lilydale. There is a place in Virginia, I think one place in Phoenix and one place in Florida. Then you've got to go over to Europe. So Lilydale is an hour from the Buffalo airport. It is today, CNN published an article, very nice article on the photographer Shannon Taggart, who has studied physical seances all over the world, photographing them and having gotten her start and love for it in Lilydale. And they did an interview about her and Lilydale. It's on CNN. You can check it out. It's under the name Seance. And I just really encourage you guys to take advantage of this opportunity. I don't know if they're going to repeat it, but to have 3 mediums at the same time in the same location, each of whom can demonstrate physical materialization, is just fabulous. So my advice. Okay.
Very cool.
Are you ready with those cards?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just wanted to comment. I mean, I have not been to Lilydale myself, but it is a fabulous place from everything I've seen. I know a lot of people that teach up there and work up there. Definitely recommend it. I might go myself. I have to see if I can get up there with my schedule. But yeah, it's definitely an amazing opportunity. Like Winter was saying, there's not a lot of opportunity for physical mediumship anywhere in the world, let alone the US. So if you have any interest, grab it for sure. So yeah, that's awesome. Fabulous. And I have my cards I don't use this deck that much. It is the Kyle Gray Keeper of the Light Oracle cards, which are really cool. I really like Kyle. If you don't know, Kyle Gray works with all the angels, and he's one of the Hay House authors. He's lovely. So definitely recommend him. He does a lot of different trainings and things. And I love this deck of his. So let's see. Oh, that's so crazy. I just pulled the same card yesterday. So this card is Hope. And I shuffled the deck. You can't see, but I spread the whole deck out, and I just pulled the exact same card. So clearly there's a message here. This message is hope, love, and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts. And I think this is perfect for what we were talking about self-care, spiritual self-care, mirror talk. It's so crazy because, I don't know how many cards are in the deck, like 70 cards, and you just pulled the same one over and over again. So this is it's about hope in terms of hope of your life and things like that. But this card really more speaks to loving yourself, caring of yourself, making room for love in your life. That's really what this card is talking about. This angel that's on the card, I don't remember her name, but she is like the feminine equivalent of Archangel Gabriel. So Archangel Gabriel, I know, is the strong angel, and she's more like the loving angel. And I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. But I know that she comes in with sort of that loving, self-care, spiritual awareness type of energy. And that's what this card is talking about, a love, hope, and acceptance. So, I will leave you with that as we sort of close out the show. Very important to not just take care of our bodies, but take care of our spirit, nurture our spirit, and allow for that to grow. And yeah, it's been a pleasure working with you, Winter, as usual. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And we will see you again next time on Spirit Chat.
Yep. And everyone, God bless.
Thank you.
Timing is everything. Remember
Mom,
to check
we need you.
Mari and my web pages. We have listings of our upcoming events and radio show appearances. So God bless. Take care. We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Bye. God
Thank
bless.
you.
Take
Happy
care,
New Year.
everybody.
Happy New Year.